Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of our Drunken History. So this week is kind of a special week. This episode will be our 13th episode. So we decided to just do a homage to the number 13 and some of the traditions around it, some of the superstitions with it. And this video will be released on Saturday the 13th. So it all kind of fits, I think.
Yeah. Not Friday the 13th.
Not Friday the 13th.
We couldn't wait that long.
Yeah.
We're coming to you from my living room because my air conditioner got fixed today, and it is delightful.
Much better than last week.
Last week was sweaty.
Hopefully you guys liked the baseball episode last week. It was
I actually got a lot of texts about it.
Oh yeah?
That it was really good. People who had appreciated that. They actually liked the ambiance, the outdoor background noises. They appreciated it and made them sit back and appreciate summertime.
That's pretty good. It's good to hear feedback like that. And hey, if you guys wanted to have us do more episodes outdoors or in some other setting,
wait till fall.
Yeah. Maybe at the beach.
Yeah.
So the number 13 goes way back in history. It has its roots and some of its phobias dated back hundreds of years. And so I'll let Zach pronounce it. So there is actually a term for the fear of the number 13. It's for what goes with superstitious, and that is called what?
Triskaidekaphobia.
Triskaidekaphobia.
The fear of the number 13.
Fear of the number. And there's another one that's even more complicated.
Let me turn that on.
No.
Okay.
We're watching the baseball game on the side over here too.
Yeah.
So.
Sorry, guys.
We'll have another baseball episode coming up here in a few weeks.
Yeah, we got a good one coming up.
But yeah. So the number 13, if you want to get for mathematically, it's one of the Fibonacci numbers. Mm-hmm. You've seen like the spiral Fibonacci scale.
Yep.
It's the next in sequence after 5 and 8, and then 13 is the next number.
Yeah.
I thought that was
21 is the next one.
21 is the next one.
You had the number before it.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah.
I have my shoes off otherwise. Couldn't have added 5 and 8.
Yeah, and that Fibonacci sequence occurs in nature a lot. You can see it in seashells,
sunflowers, and
so
which is weird, right?
Yeah, and that's how some people. There's actually the theory that some people think there is a grand design to the universe or a creator because of some of the stuff seems like it should be beyond coincidence that it happens. So
I could see that. I could go down that rabbit hole.
So the crazy thing that I found out when looking at this stuff, they said almost 80% of high-rise buildings in the United States
the 13th floor
do not have a 13th floor. Like if you go in the elevator and look at all the buttons, there's no 13. Usually it's like a keyed slot, and it's like a maintenance or a mechanic floor where they have like air conditioners and
air conditioners are great.
Yeah,
you gotta have them.
So. Which it was just crazy. I knew there was some other countries that did that as well, but there was different numbers. Like in Asia, they kind of have this thing with the number 4, and so they'll omit the 4th floor on different things, or they'll leave the 4 out of like room numbers. The same like hotels. A lot of hotels don't have a 13 room number. They'll just skip it.
I did not know that.
And then. One thing I saw too about building, like if a contractor or construction building a set of stairs, they'll either have
12 or 14.
12 or 14 or more. They won't have a staircase with 13 stairs. But
it's kind of weird how things like that inject themselves into your life and you don't even know it.
Yeah, and the thing is though too, when it came to the history of like the fear of 13, there's really no ancient evidence of people being afraid of that, but it's actually more modern. They said it kind of started coming about in the 19th century when people started getting more superstitious.
Like it went mainstream.
It kind of went mainstream, but they related a lot of the stuff back to ancient times. Like there is a story of why the 13 got to be a bad number or unlucky number. It was in ancient Norse mythology. I guess all the Norse gods were having a dinner party with
It was
Zeus.
their last supper.
No, it's not Zeus. It's with Odin.
Yeah, great Odin's raven.
And so Loki showed up uninvited, and he was the 13th guest.
I knew we were going to get into X-Men here.
And
nerd shit.
The nerd shit. And Loki showed up uninvited, and he caused a lot of mayhem during the dinner parties. And evidently it caused darkness to fall over the world for a period of time, and it was like a bad omen to have 13. And I think there's still some people believe that you don't want to have 13 dinner guests at your house.
I don't,
or you don't want to be
I
the
don't wanna
13th
have-
guest.
I don't want to have like 5.
Yeah. and that goes, but also, so Christianity, it kind of stemmed from that as well. With the Last Supper, with the crucifixion of Jesus, was Judas, the
Apostle or whatever, or disciple?
disciple that
Yeah.
betrayed Jesus, was the number 13, or he was the 13th guest, they say, at the Last Supper. And he ended up ultimately betraying Jesus to the Romans.
To Pontius Pilate?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say with the Loki thing, man, I crashed a party and caused a lot of mayhem a couple times too.
So maybe you were Loki. So on the kind of the same subject with religion, also the number 13 shows up in Judaism for when they say a boy becomes a man in Judea, the bar mitzvah. This when they turn 13. That's their tradition.
It's like with the chairs part
Yeah.
of it. Yeah. That's all I know, man. Like I
And
said,
they get I guess they get a lot of money from their in-laws and stuff too. Their bar mitzvah money for college, I guess.
Really?
Yeah.
At 13?
Yeah.
From their in-laws?
Or not their in-laws, but their relatives. Relatives.
Okay.
There we
Well,
go.
I don't know much about Jewish religion, man. Maybe they're marrying young.
So a few years ago, the whole incident with the Mayan calendar in 2012, and they thought the world was ending and stuff.
Yeah.
And so that revolved around.
John Cusack was there.
Oh yeah, he was. The whole Yellowstone blew up too.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson was great.
He was in that movie for all of like 12 minutes.
Yeah, but he made the movie.
But the Mayan calendar was supposed to end, and they used a 13-day cycle, or I guess their week was a 13-day week kind of thing. And people thought the world was going to end when that calendar ended, but
Oh, yeah, I
it
remember
just
that.
evidently started a new cycle and
I
stuff.
remember that, man. Like, there was all kinds of weird theories. People thought, like, the magnetic poles were
Yeah.
immediately going to flip-flop. And
Yeah, and they've been studying the whole magnetic pole shift, and it said it's going to happen, but it's a lot slower.
yeah, but it
process.
happens, like, over
over like a millennia.
yeah,
versus,
like a really long time.
Evidently, too, if you look it up, the magnetic poles drift like several miles a year.
Yeah.
But eventually, it'll make a full cycle.
What's your experience with the number 13? Do you have any?
Well, so I've always kind of been a person that goes against the grain. So a lot of people that I knew were superstitious about 13, so I always kind of gravitated toward it. So when I played baseball when I was a kid, I always picked 13. I wore 13 as my jersey number in baseball.
Joey Gallo did too. It didn't work out for him.
Oh,
He had a fucking terrible year. That was in
man.
LA. Sorry, Joey. Get the fuck out.
I couldn't wear 13 in football. I was too big and slow. I was a lineman, so I didn't have a big number.
See, my second year of tackle football, I was a linebacker, but Marino was my favorite player. So I wore 13, and you got to pick what you put across your name on the back. They didn't put your name. You got to pick whatever you wanted. So I put unlucky.
Oh, that's awesome.
13. So I played for the Ryan Olds Cowboys.
Ryan Olds Cowboys.
Yeah, the Oldsmobile dealership in Billing.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Consequently, I had a really good year.
that's good. 'Cause, hey, sometimes you have to embrace the negative or the superstition, and sometimes you can force your own luck.
Yeah, it was nice.
And that's the thing too. Like there's some cultures that think the number 13 is a lucky number. In France, 13 is traditionally considered lucky. It's mainly in the Western, like in the U.S., that 13 is considered unlucky.
Huh.
There's some people that they say, that's the thing though too, that when I was looking at this stuff, it says really only about 10% of the population in the U.S. has any kind of feelings toward the number 13.
I remember being a little kid, and I always look forward to Friday the 13th because I was a huge Jason Voorhees fan.
Oh yeah.
Like, I dressed as Jason Voorhees for Halloween. We'd all, you know, we did that all the time. Like, we were all Jason Voorhees fans, man. But I loved that series. That was like my favorite horror series growing up.
Yeah.
I loved them. They, Camp Crystal Lake. Like, I always wanted to like go there and like,
go and actually see that real lake.
I don't even know if it is a real lake.
I don't think that. I mean, it's a real lake, but I don't know.
There's probably several Crystal Lakes throughout the U.S., but I don't know if that was like based on a single one. But
yeah, I think that was what it was called for the movie, and they used. I don't know exactly. We'll have to find that. We'll pop that up on the screen with what lake they used to film.
But okay, which was your favorite one in the Jason Voorhees series?
Jason in Outer Space. No, I mean, they're probably the most recent one that I remember watching is probably like Freddy versus Jason. That was pretty good.
Those were good. I always went, and I don't even know which one in this. I think it was. I think it was either 4 or 7. I don't know why. I think that, but it was the one with the little kid at the beginning, and the guys are digging up the grave, and it's like in a rainstorm.
Oh, okay.
And it's like at a bunch of weirdo.
Yeah, like a insane asylum.
Out on the lake. But that was when he killed the guy in the porta potty. Yeah, man, that was a good one. And then I like Jason Takes Manhattan too.
Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yeah, when the boxer on the roof. When the guy's he's an amateur boxer, and he's boxing with Jason, and he's hitting him, and then Jason hits him one time, and his head flies down, rolls down the gutter and into a dumpster.
Oh man, and that's one thing that with the Jason movies, like people are running away and driving away in cars and different things.
And he walks and catches them.
He just walks, just
the whole time.
I guess it's like the tortoise and the hare. Slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah, he won it every fucking time. Yeah, those were good horror movies, man. You know, I don't even know if they do that now, but I remember when I was a kid, I don't know if it was TBS or TNT or whatever, one of them would do like the whole day. You could just binge watch Jason movies.
I think some of them do it like on Friday the 13th or during Halloween time. They'll do the movie marathons like that. They should.
Those were great. Those made they made the day.
So that was talking about the movie Friday the 13th. There's more folklore that's involved with Friday the 13th, and it being an unlucky day. Going back to the incident with Loki showing up at the dinner party, evidently in Norse mythology, that happened on Friday the 13th as well, and he was the 13th guest. So it kind of had a double whammy there, I guess, going on with it. But it also, I guess, in other cultures, instead of Friday the 13th being unlucky, it's Tuesday the 13th. And they say that in Hispanic and Greek cultures that Tuesday the 13th is a bad day.
Really?
And they've actually done studies where it appears there's more traffic accidents and more hospitalizations that happen on the 13th.
Yeah, I think that's people just taking advantage of the day, though.
Yeah. Well, and some people, it's one of those things, too, where your mind is a powerful thing, and like if you are worried about something or you're causing yourself to be superstitious about something like that, you can cause yourself to be distracted and drive your car off the road.
They say ERs are always more full on are full on the full moon.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot.
People get stupid.
Yeah, and I've heard different things with that though too, with like the moon being full and having something to do with your instinctual part of your brain, the magnetic field or something like that, making people make dumb decisions. I don't know how true that is or not, but
the tides in your brain.
The tides, yeah. They said something with the tides that causes you make bad decisions.
If you just make bad decisions all the time, then the stats are out the door.
Yeah, that's right. So talking about that, and there's some people that are superstitious points of, well, they don't go to work or they don't travel. So they said on average.
Triskaidekaphobia.
Yeah, exactly.
Triskaidekaphobiaites.
They said it cost the United States $800 to $900 million annually for Friday the 13th.
Jesus Christ, guys, it doesn't work.
Because it says people, like airlines, there's a lot of people won't book flights on Friday the 13th, so they miss a lot of airfare from people just won't book a plane ticket
Really?
on Friday the 13th. People stay home from work, so there's companies lose production because their workers aren't showing up. They said a lot of people don't travel, so like the stores and convenience stores lose money because people aren't traveling on those days.
Are you superstitious about anything?
A little bit. Like, I don't know if it's just better safe than sorry type stuff, but I'll knock on wood every once in a while. I won't walk under ladders. Don't open an umbrella inside. But I don't know. It's just one of those things. Like, there's some stuff that superstitious about, maybe, but
I don't know that. I mean, I knock on wood, I guess. But like, I'll walk right under a ladder. I don't give a shit.
well, if you walk under a ladder, you got to walk back under it backwards, and it takes it away.
I don't do that. Just keep on going.
Oh, it's crazy how some of those superstitions get started too. Though the knocking on wood, because it was somehow I read it in when I was looking through this stuff. That started in a church in Ireland, and they had a wood beam, and they said it was part of the cross that Jesus was crucified on. So people would knock on it to like be close to close to Jesus type thing. And they said it brought them good luck or whatever, so they're knocking on wood for good luck.
The one I don't know, gravitate towards, I guess, and I guess it actually comes from the way I grew up. But if someone gifts you a knife, you give them a coin.
Okay.
Or it severs the friendship.
I have
And I've never looked up why that is that way,
No.
but that is something I've always followed.
And there's one thing that I've kind of, with like talking about a knife, if somebody hands you an open knife, you don't close it, you hand it back to them so they can close it, kind of thing. You don't close a knife that you didn't open. I don't know, it's supposed to be bad luck, I guess, too, but I don't know the history of that either. But when I was a kid, I was cutting an apple or something, and my grandpa gave me his pocket knife, and I cut the apple, and I got ready to close it. He said, "No, you don't close that knife." It's like, okay.
Shit,
So-
I'm gonna beat your ass.
Yeah. So this episode, we normally have a beer or some sort of beverage themed to goes along with it, but it's hard finding something with 13. I guess beer companies are kind of.
So, in order for us to do this the right way and celebrate it, we're just gonna drink 13 beers.
That's what we're about to do. Yeah. We got the 15 pack of Natty Light. We just poured 2 of them out. And we're gonna have the 13.
There's another superstition. Pour a beer out for your homies.
There you go. Yeah. So yeah, we just stick with the Old Faithful and some Natty Light.
Yeah.
And so I did find one. It was Guinness had made one a while back, and it was a Hop 13 ale they had, and they discontinued it. And then there's a Lagunitas or Lagunas.
Lagunitas. You and your pronunciations, man.
What's it called?
Lagunitas. Triskaidekaphobia.
So they had one too, but it's a seasonal, so it's not in season right now either. So we couldn't find any beers with 13 in them. So
if you guys know of one,
let us
throw
know
it in the comments.
Yeah, and maybe we can have a revisit and review it here later in a later episode. Yeah. Maybe on a Friday the 13th or for a Halloween episode.
Maybe we'll try and get Jason Voorhees to swing by.
Yeah, we go way back. So I guess to round it out, when we're talking about the 13s, in the U.S., 13 makes a pretty prominent appearance in our traditional ceremonies or in our government. Like the U.S. flag has the 13 stripes, represent the 13 original colonies.
Yeah, initially had 13 stars.
Then that represented the original 13 states.
The Betsy Ross flag, yep.
So then on the seal of the United States, it has the eagle. So it has the shield.
13 arrows?
It has 13 arrows, but then the olive branch for the peace side of it has 13 leaves and 13 olives on it. And then it has the crest with 13 stars.
Yep.
So there's a lot of symbolism that goes in there with it too.
Who was the 13th president?
I don't know.
Maybe
Lincoln was the 16th. I don't know who the 13th was.
See if he had a bad run. Millard Fillmore.
I don't know anything about Millard Fillmore.
I think anybody does.
Maybe that's why.
Millard Fillmore was the second president to succeed to the office without being elected to it, after John Tyler. He was the last Whig president, and his presidency ended after losing the Whig nomination at the 1952 Whig National Convention. He was
1852?
1852.
Okay.
Yeah, did what I say?
You said 1952.
Fuck. 13 got me.
13.
Unlucky.
Yeah.
No, his presidency ended after losing the Whig nomination at the 1852 Whig National Convention. Fillmore was succeeded by Democrat Franklin Pierce.
Okay.
He is best known for assuming the presidency after the death of Zachary Taylor.
So that would.
So he did have an unlucky run.
Yeah.
He was the vice president who stepped in, and they were like, "Fuck you."
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like depending on how whose lucky you want to talk about, because Zachary Taylor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he had to die to make the 13th president, and so.
And then the 13th president did such a shitty job that they didn't even nominate him, let alone elect the guy.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe the unlucky 13 strikes again on that. So I guess to cap it off, we're sticking with U.S. history. When you talk about the Apollo program, and they were exploring the moon.
Yeah, Apollo 13 did not go well.
Apollo 13 was pretty. If you have to look that up, watch the movie. It's a really good movie.
It is a good
about it.
And you know what? Another unlucky thing: Tom Hanks did not win Best Actor that year.
No.
But he had previously won for Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And Forrest Gump.
Was Forrest Gump after that or before?
It was right before. It was the year before. So he had won for Philadelphia. Then the next year he had won for Forrest Gump, and he thought he was going to win for Apollo 13, and he did not get it.
The unlucky 13.
Unlucky 13 strikes again. It even gets to Tom Hanks.
They kind of made a spoof on it, or not a spoof. What do you call it? They tried to make lemonade out of lemons with that. They call Apollo 13 America's most greatest successful failure. So it failed, but they were very successful in getting the crew back alive because they thought.
Yeah, but I mean.
Yeah,
it's like
that's just them trying to spin it.
Yeah, it's like putting butter on a burn, man.
Yeah,
trying to dress it up a little bit. It still was a shit show.
Yeah, yeah. Those guys. Imagine,
But I'll tell you, you want to talk about perseverance and getting through a feeling of just lost hope.
Yeah, that's
like you're gonna die.
Yeah, they being up there in no way with a lot of the systems failing on that aircraft or spacecraft, that they didn't know if they were going to make it back. They thought they might have just been left in space forever. Well, guys, I think that kind of wraps up our talk about 13. We kind of rambled on that a little bit, but we want to do something special for the 13th episode.
Yeah.
On August the 13th.
So hit like 13 times.
There you go. Give us 13 comments.
That's good.
Yeah. So yeah, we appreciate everybody. Be sure to give us the like and subscribes on YouTube. Help us build our channel. We depend on you guys to help us out.
And don't drink and drive.
Have a plan. Call an Uber. Call a Lyft.
Yeah.
Sleep on a buddy's couch. Do what you got to do, but don't take unnecessary chances.
Yep. All right, guys. Appreciate it.
You guys have a good one.
See you next time.